through meditation, one can control that part of the mind which he uses in daily life. When one's consciousness starts moving upward, he becomes aware of another level of life, and he understands more and more. A person who does not meditate does not know how to expand his consciousness. He has narrow vision, as if he is looking through a window. But when he learns to expand his consciousness, it is like going through a door, not just looking out a window. It is exactly as if one were looking through a small window in a house. From the window, his view is very limited, but when he gets out of the house, he has a much wider view. When he goes to the roof, he can see more clearly. By the same token, as one's consciousness expands, his vision becomes clearer, and he understands things as they are. In samadhi, the individual learns to expand his consciousness, fathom all boundaries, and unite himself with the cosmic consciousness. Now, in the last paragraph of this chapter, Swamiji summarizes all of these steps, and he adds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 others. And they're just right here. Once you see that it's listed there, you can follow it. Here's the paragraph. And just allow yourself to follow through. Just follow through with it. So through regular practice, patience, observation, analysis, discrimination, determination, and proper action, the mind becomes concentrated. And a concentrated mind can meditate very nicely. At last, one reaches the stage of samadhi, the state of tranquility in which he does things yet remains above them. Nothing can affect him. Then, as his consciousness goes to the height of samadhi, his wisdom increases more and more until complete transformation to a state of perfection takes place. This is the state of perfect stillness. And this is what he's referring to as the basis of holistic health. If you can do anything approximating what this paragraph just said, anywhere close to it, health starts to align itself. No, I'm just observing that if you look at this last paragraph, the 7 that we did are in the first 2 lines. And then, so that ends in proper action, right? And then the next thing after that is, and then the mind becomes concentrated, number 8. I just put little numbers beside it. And a concentrated mind can, 9, meditate very nicely. 10, at last, number 10, one reaches the state of samadhi, the state of tranquility in which he does things that remains above him. Nothing can affect him. 11, then, as that has been accomplished, then, as his consciousness goes to the height of samadhi, then his wisdom, number 12, increases more and more, until, number 13, complete transformation to a state of perfection has taken place. State is one of 14 perfect stillness. That was just the way in which I'm saying that there's things mapped out there. And one leads to the next, leads to the next. It's a whole different worldview on what health is about. And it's recognizing that the height of health comes from the deepest place within. And comes outward and emerges outward. And so it's sort of like they say in computer stuff, garbage in, garbage out. If we keep allowing garbage to go into the depth of our mind, then why are we surprised that garbage comes out at the level of the physical body? It should be no surprise. But what if we alter the depth? Very, very deep level. This is a chapter called Being Still. Well, how do I do that? and so he's provided a roadmap for doing it. And he pulled it all together in this last paragraph, but he walks through each of those 7 steps. Those are the ones where we really have to do our preliminary homework, so to speak. Regular practice, cultivating patience, observation. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. To what? Everything. This is the thing, I said this before, that when I was walking that day by the Ganga, there one day, and Swamiji just dumped these 2 words in front of me, witness everything. Took a while. But that was one of those times that I said to him, I don't think I know how to do I don't think I know how to do this. And his response back, it will come. And over time, I came to see that the reason he said it will come is because it caught my attention. It was like he hit me in the head with a stick. Boom! What? I was asleep. Sorry, I've been missing everything you've been saying for years, but you just hit me in the head, so now that you've got my attention, what is it you want me to do? Witness everything. Okay, I don't have a clue how to do that, but he said it will come. Why? Because I think he knew that he had hit me in the head, and I felt the hit. And that would lead me to trying to figure out what that meant. And it's literal. This observation thing in here that walks through, observe this and observe this and observe this, and basically observe everything in daily life, he really means it. He really, really, really means it. True. So practice, regular practice, patience, observation, and then you explore what you find in the self-observation. And elsewhere we've been talking about this means observing the 4 functions of mind and how the cognitive senses and the karmendriyas, the actions, are being dictated by manas, which is mostly running because of the habit patterns in the chitta and all that kind of stuff. That's where it's going. And that this is playing out at the levels of waking and dreaming and deep sleep, the ah, the oo, and the of om. And all of these different things that he's saying all intertwine. And it comes from observation, analysis, which means seeing how all the parts interact, and seeing, to a large degree, how much I'm usually controlled by my habit pattern. And that I didn't choose the habit pattern. How long are we going to be run, our lives dictated, by the messages of our early childhood, and our middle childhood, and our later childhood, and our adolescence, and school teachers, and on and on and on, and employers and co-workers, and friends who are just as lost or more lost than we are. And we have all these messages stored back there about who I am and how I'm supposed to live. The reliance. That is exactly the point of the self-reliance that he mentioned here. He just touched on it, but then mentions it more as we move into it. But are we relying on others, or are we saying, no, I'm going on strike, I quit? I've been listening to everybody else. I think that I'm independent, and I've been making my own stuff, but when you really observe and do the analysis, you come to see that almost everything we're doing is driven by others that have come in as data through my cognitive senses and is stored on the hard drive of my chitta. But now I'm observing. That's one of the things I'm observing, and then I analyze that, and I discriminate. I use determination, and then I take action. Useful, not useful, and am I going to make my own choices? Who's going to determine my habit pattern? History or my own intelligence? My own buddhi?